Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 33 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are here for you. We welcome your phone calls on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products, Truth Skin Health products, or Truth Nourishment products, which you could find at truthnourishment.com, cayenne extract, probiotics, our Vitalzyme, our Yellow Dock extract, and of course the bergamot products are all up at truthnourishment.com. We've got blog posts, news stories, videos on all our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, as well as truthnourishment.com. If you want to sign up to join the Brightside Ben team, call 866-735-2470 or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com and click on the Join the Team link if you want to sign up to join the Brightside Ben team, or you can purchase longevity products off the website. You can purchase longevity products by calling 866-735-2470 as well. All right, thanks for joining us once again on The Bright Side. This is the program where we simplify health. Health should be a simple matter. It shouldn't be complicated. One of the things we learn in pharmacy school is how to simplify seemingly complex ideas and complex chemistry about how the body works, and biochemistry and medicinal chemistry and herbal chemistry. And if you're like most people, when you have a question about health or a question about medicines or a question about nutrition, you'll go to the pharmacist. Every year, the Gallup poll takes a poll on the most trusted profession, and every year it's the pharmacist, because we get entrusted to help make health and health supplements and the accoutrements of health easy to understand, to simplify. And that's what we do in this program. We simplify it. Health has become so complicated. One of the biggest health challenges we have is something I call overthinkitis. We overthink. Health is really as simple as plumbing. If you can understand the plumbing in your house, you can understand the plumbing in your body. If you can understand the plumbing in your house, you can understand the health of your body, because health is a plumbing issue. That's what we mean when we say all disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. Dirty blood means clogged blood, sludgy blood. When toxicity gets into the bloodstream, whether that toxicity is injected into the bloodstream or whether it's put into the bloodstream through the digestive system, the blood clogs up. Fibers form in the blood. Immune cells start to accumulate into the blood. Eventually, that toxicity in the blood gets dumped into the soft tissues, especially into the connective tissues. The soft tissues, the glands, the various organs, the connective tissue, these become the dumping grounds of toxicity that's in the blood. This is how the disease process proceeds. And there's nothing zippo nada a doctor can do for it. It's not a doctor issue. It's not a medical issue. That's why I've been ripping on this concept of medicalization for the last few days, and I've been ripping on medicalization for years. These conditions are not medical. The medical model will tell you they are, but they're not. Plumbing conditions in the blood are not anything that a doctor or a doctor's tools can do anything about. That's why the only thing they can do is give you drugs to hide or to mask symptoms. All disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. That means health challenges are plumbing issues. Dirty blood meaning is the liquid that flows through the body. Plumbing is the liquid that flows through your house. When your plumbing is clogged, you're going to have a problem, whether it's in your body or it's in your home. This is why we're so focused on the digestive system. The digestive system, not only is the digestive system the nexus of chronic long-term health challenges, but it also represents your healing powers, because we choose what goes into the bloodstream through our digestive system choices. This is why fasting is so helpful. This is why eating all day is a problem. The intestine, the gut, when we say the intestine, we mean the gut. This is the key to everything. It is not simplistic. It is simple, but it's not simplistic. You can tell that you have a digestive link to your health challenges if you're dealing with a head-to-toe condition. That is the classic example, or the most obvious way that you can tell you have a bloodstream problem, a circulatory problem, if you're dealing with a head-to-toe condition, either a head-to-toe rash, head-to-toe autoimmune problem like scleroderma or lupus, something like fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is the ultimate example of how we are misled by the medical model into thinking that we can be medicalized. We have to be medicalized to address our health challenges. Fibromyalgia is a classic example of a bloodstream condition, and even more importantly, fibromyalgia affects mostly women. So right away, you know you're dealing with a hormone issue, an estrogen issue. There's a major unappreciated and underleveraged relationship between estrogen, female hormone, and the digestive system. If you ever hear the word estrogen involved in your health challenge, you know that you got a problem with digestion. Estrogen is a very powerful hormone that needs to be broken down quickly. When I was making estrogen products in the pharmacy, we used to have to be really super careful with how we compounded them. Because if you're off by a slight amount, you could throw the body off into a serious stress response. Estrogen is a stress hormone. It initiates a stress response. There's a major relationship between estrogen and cortisol, and between estrogen and insulin. In fact, those three hormones, estrogen, insulin, and cortisol, are behind almost every single probably all health challenges. Estrogen, insulin, and cortisol. 90% of people who have fibromyalgia are women. Fibromyalgia affects 10 million people, 10 million Americans. 5% of the world's population is dealing with fibromyalgia. And let me tell you something. If you don't have it, you got to use your imagination to imagine how miserable this condition is. People with fibromyalgia have pain all over their bodies, inflammatory pain from head to toe. You can't even move without feeling inflammatory pain. And I would bet a lot of people have subclinical fibromyalgia where they just feel yucky. It's not full-blown fibromyalgia, you just feel yucky. You just feel like you don't want to move your body. That's a mild fibromyalgia condition. Fibromyalgia means fiber, myo, muscle fibers, algia, muscle fiber pain. That's all it means. It's not a disease, really. It's a description. Like all our diagnoses, it's a description. That's just the most obvious, one of the more obvious ones, fibromyalgia. Muscle fiber pain. You go to the doctor, you say, hey, doc, my muscles hurt. He says, oh, well, you must have fibromyalgia. It's just a description. People think it's a disease. It's a description. Doctors say there's no known cause. But they do know that mostly women get it. So right away, you know you got an estrogen problem, and if you can relate estrogen to the digestive system, you know you got a digestive problem. Fibromyalgia, the only thing you can get if you go to the doctor for fibromyalgia is a pain reliever, or an antidepressant, or an anti-inflammatory. Yeah, they'll give you Prozac for fibromyalgia. Sometimes they'll give you something called Lyrica for fibromyalgia. Lyrica, by the way, is a derivative of GABA, which is a brain chemical, a relaxing brain chemical. The trick to dealing with fibromyalgia is to relax everything. That's how pain relievers work. That's how antidepressants work. That's how anti-inflammatories work. That's how Lyrica works. Relax everything. The best way to relax everything is to stop eating. I'm guaranteeing you, if you're dealing with fibromyalgia, do a 2-day fast and watch what happens. It may take you more than 1 day, but even 1 day for a lot of folks. If you have any estrogen problems, work on how the body processes estrogen. Autoimmune issues almost always involve a component of estrogen, and this is one of the reasons why autoimmune issues are largely a female problem. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We do have lines open, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about anything we're talking about here today, if you're dealing with fibromyalgia or any health challenges that you need help with, 844-236-6010. Likewise, if you have a comment or success story, 844-236-6010, or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, we love hearing from you, 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And if you want to purchase any of our Truth products, go to truthtreatments.com, Truth Skin Health Products, truthtreatments.com. Prescription strength without the prescription, all created in my compounding pharmacy. What I discovered in the pharmacy was that when you heal wounds topically, you beautify the skin, and all our Truth Skin Health products are wound healing products as well as beauty products. Never any preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, emulsifiers, water, silicone, nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want. And any of our Truth Treatment products, go to truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, so the body is a self-contained system. It's a closed system. It just operates perfectly, except for it needs to have oxygen and it needs to have food. From a physical perspective, it needs food and it needs oxygen. Those are the two places where things can get messed up in the body, either through oxygenation or through digestion. Problems with oxygenation, problems with respiration, and then problems with food. For the most part, it's food problems, though. For the most part, if you're dealing with a health challenge, you're dealing with a food problem, and that's because of the relationship between the digestive system, the circulatory system, and how our symptoms show up. The digestive system relates to how the body shows up for better or worse, and that's good news for anybody who's dealing with a health challenge, particularly fibromyalgia. I was just reason it's on my mind, fibromyalgia. I was reading an article in a really cool magazine called What Doctors Don't Tell You. You can get that at most health food store newsstands, or I have a subscription to it, and it's always got some good stuff in it. But anyway, the last, most recent issue has an article on fibromyalgia, and talks about some gal who's dealing with it, and she's going to acupuncture, and she's having body work, and she's having something called bioenergetic sensitivity and enzyme therapy. You don't need all of this stuff if you're dealing with fibromyalgia, just like if you're dealing with any health challenge that affects you head to toe. Stop eating, first of all, and you'll notice you're feeling better for the most part. Now, you got to eat eventually, and when you start eating again, you eat very carefully. You pay very close attention to what you're eating. You don't eat combination foods. You just eat one type of food, and you see how you react. And you can react to anything, folks. You can react to avocados. You can react to asparagus. And this idea of good foods and bad foods and gluten-free it's kind of silly. There's no real good foods, bad foods, although there's some hideous foods, absolutely, potato chips and such. Donuts and potato chips, those are foods that are bad for everybody. But the idea of good foods and bad foods misleads us into thinking that there's only a certain amount of bad foods. It's not true. Foods that are ordinarily good, for some people anyway, can be bad for other people. So you can't really go by good foods, bad foods. You can't really go by gluten because there's 100 other things, hundreds of other compounds in vegetables and seeds and grains and botanicals and plants and fruits, etc., that can be problematic. So you got to go by how your body feels, and that's why a food diary is so darn important. You got to also work on the digestive system from a positive standpoint. That is, the negative standpoint is what you shouldn't be doing, and from a positive standpoint, what you should be. Probiotics are key. Probiotics help your body process estrogen. They help your body process fats. Fat malabsorption, how we process fats, and how we process estrogen go hand in hand, estrogen being a fatty hormone. Estrogen is broken down in 2 steps in the liver. If you have a liver problem or a bile problem, the chances are pretty good you're going to have an estrogen problem, which means if you're dealing with autoimmunity, if you're dealing with reproductive health issues, if you're dealing with menstrual issues, if you have PCOS or cysts in the ovary or endometriosis, or you can't make a baby, chances are pretty good you're dealing with too much estrogen or too much toxic estrogen. Estrogen that is not being broken down. You throw in xenoestrogens, that is the estrogens we get from plastics and from our tap water, there's a really good chance if you're dealing with a health challenge, particularly if it involves the immune system, you're dealing with an estrogen issue. Fasting is one strategy. Using probiotics is another strategy. Using liver support nutrients is another strategy. Things like the B vitamins, vitamin E, glutathione, phytonutrients from broccoli and cruciferous vegetables. These phytonutrients from broccoli and cruciferous vegetables can help you process estrogen. Keeping in mind that some people have a problem with the cruciferous vegetables. If it's not you, if you're not having a problem with cruciferous vegetables, if you don't break out when you eat them, if it doesn't make your arthritis worse, if you don't have inflammation when you eat them, then you should be eating cruciferous vegetables every day because they're so darn medicinal. The cruciferous vegetables are broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. They're highly protective against estrogen. You can also use progesterone cream. You can also use something called pregnenolone, Pregnenolone. We've talked about that on this program. Selenium has wonderful estrogen balancing effects. I should say estrogen detoxifying effects. Selenium is one of those all-time wonderful minerals. Only Dr. Wally talks about selenium that I've heard. A lot of folks don't even know what selenium is. Selenium is, you get selenium from longevity. If you're dealing with any estrogen issue, autoimmune issue, reproductive issue, get on selenium, 400 to 600 micrograms a day. Doc takes about 800. I think he takes 1,000 micrograms a day. The Ultimate Selenium and all the longevity products can be found at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. So if you're dealing with fibromyalgia or any condition that affects your body from head to toe, that's a classic case of a circulatory problem. In the case of fibromyalgia, you're dealing with probably estrogen toxicity, more than likely estrogen toxicity. Work on your estrogen system, and that's, by the way, that's true about all autoimmune diseases as well as fibromyalgia and, quite obviously, reproductive health issues. So the first step in staying healthy or recovering from a health challenge is to control food. Fasting, ideally you want to fast for a day or two, then you want to do food diary and elimination diet. If you don't want to fast, it's not absolutely necessary that you fast, but it sure does help. Calorie restriction is also very helpful. That's why the ketogenic diet is so good. It's a calorie restriction diet. Filling yourself up with soups, juices, smoothies. You don't even need to make a fancy juice. You can just throw some cucumber in water, just cucumber water. Cucumber water and veggie water is very energizing, and it's a great way to fill up the fiber in the cucumber. Cucumber will fill you up. And the electrification of the water is also very energizing and can also have a filling effect. It's a great way to do a fast, by the way, is with cucumber water. I guess it's not technically a fast, but it's a great way to restrict your calories. Eat lots of veggies, and don't forget fermented veggies, and don't forget to move your body. Move your body vigorously, not just walking the dog. Walking the dog is great. Taking a walk around the block is great. But if you're not uncomfortable, you're not leveraging your movement. You're not getting the most bang for your buck if you're not uncomfortable. Do what's called high-intensity interval training when you're walking. That is, walk really, really fast for 30 seconds and then slow down and walk leisurely for maybe a minute or two. Then walk really fast again for 30 seconds. Then walk more leisurely. Do it 3 or 4 or 5 times. It'll take 10 or 15 minutes. And it's a great way to not only improve lymphatic drainage, not only improve detoxification, but also to improve connective tissue growth. And also, believe it or not, moving the body vigorously will help you utilize nutrients from foods that you just ate. It's great to take a nice vigorous walk after you eat a meal. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben, 844-23. We are back on the bright side and got lines open 844-236-6010. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on the archive page at brightsideben.com. You can get longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And if you want to start a longevity business, if you want to be in business for yourself, if you're an entrepreneur or like the entrepreneur lifestyle, click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com and start a longevity business for a one-time $30 fee. You can be in business for yourself. You can call 866-735-2470 for more info, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Also want to remind you to check out our Truth Nourishment products, probiotics and digestive enzymes and herbal extracts, as well as our Bergamet products are up at truthnourishment.com, truthnourishment.com. And speaking of herbs and herbal extracts, we know that many medicines come from herbs and plants and botanicals, penicillin, aspirin, and quinine. And now, as it turns out, you can use digestive herbs for your digestive system, or I should say herbs for your digestive system, gut health herbs, turmeric, ginger, black pepper. These have been shown, according to the journal Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine. Turmeric, ginger, long pepper, and black pepper have been shown to beneficially change the gut microbiome. They're not quite prebiotics, they're not quite probiotics, but they can help balance out bacteria, according to this article anyway. They can help balance out bacteria so the good bacteria predominate in the intestine. There's good bacteria, there's bad bacteria. By far and away, most of the bacteria in the intestine are good bacteria, but when we're not healthy, the good bacteria die off, the bad bacteria proliferate, and that's one of the reasons why we get sick. That's one of the reasons why we get fibromyalgia. That's one of the reasons why we get estrogenic health challenges, because the good bacteria help the body process estrogen. So if you're dealing with an autoimmune issue, if you're dealing with an estrogenic health challenge, if you're dealing with some kind of digestive condition, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, you might want to consider getting yourself on turmeric, ginger, long pepper, and black pepper. According to this article, scientists collected stool samples from 12 healthy men and women between the ages of 30 and 60 who ate a vegetarian diet. The samples were grown in a medium, and the medium was supplemented with turmeric, ginger, black pepper, or long pepper. And what ended up happening was they found that all of the herb-supplemented stool samples had unique proportions of bacterial families compared to the ones that didn't have the herbs, indicating that the herbs altered or changed the gut microbiome. Herbs and spices are powerful, powerful medicines, as I say. A lot of medicines come from what we call herbs. Herbs are basically just plants. But you can just use herbs by yourself. Herbal medicine has been around for thousands of years. Ayurvedic medicine is basically herbal medicine, and Ayurvedic medicine is 5,000 years old. 3000 BC, there are medical textbooks that were written in 3000 BC that talk about using Ayurvedic herbs. That's Hindu. Ayurvedic medicine is Hindu medicine or Indian medicine. There are textbooks from 3,000 years ago that describe using herbal medicine for healing and for medical needs in the pre-drug days. All right. 844-236-6010 is our number. Speaking of fibromyalgia, magnesium is one of the all-time great fibromyalgia supplements. Magnesium balances out calcium. Magnesium's got wonderful relaxing effects. And from the journal BMI Support and Palliative Care, or BMJ, British Medical Journal Support and Palliative Care, magnesium deficiency increases susceptibility to pain. The body will become more sensitized to pain under conditions of magnesium deficiency. 2 patients with metastatic cancer and chronic pain were found to have hypomagnesemia. That means low levels of magnesium. Treatment with intravenous magnesium resulted in improved pain control and, check this out, decrease the need for opioid medication. If you have a chronic pain condition and you're using opioids, you might want to consider using magnesium. You don't necessarily need magnesium IV, although IV is always the best way to get your nutrients if you can afford it. If it's not too much of a hassle, the stuff goes right into the blood. And it turns out that IV magnesium, as well as regular magnesium, can have great anti-pain effects. Magnesium is also a great laxative, helps stabilize intestinal health. Critically important for the health of the cardiovascular system, for the heart. In fact, calcium channel blockers, the drugs they give you for if you have arrhythmias or if you have high blood pressure, magnesium is like a natural calcium channel blocker. It naturally balances out calcium. And it may be that there's a relationship between excessive calcium, too much calcium, and magnesium deficiency. It might not be too much calcium. It might just be that we're not getting enough magnesium. Supplement with 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of magnesium if you're dealing with any muscle issues or cardiovascular issues or, of course, pain issues, and see what happens. I personally take 1,000 milligrams of magnesium glycinate every day. All right. right, this is from, this is really interesting, from the journal Integrative Cancer Therapy. Experiences with intravenous vitamin C with cancer, for cancer. Findings from a retrospective chart review have found that previous anecdotal reports in which high-dose vitamin C given orally or intravenously — I prefer intravenous if you really want to get vitamin C, but orally or intravenously — was well tolerated and improved symptoms and quality of life in cancer patients. Some studies have found that high-dose vitamin C increased survival times in cancer patients. Now, not all studies have shown that. Nonetheless, given the benign nature of vitamin C, the non-toxic nature of vitamin C, the powerful medicinal properties of vitamin C, the detoxification effects of vitamin C. That's one of the underappreciated properties of vitamin C. It's a great detoxification vitamin. Vitamin C has chelating properties. We talk about chelation a lot on this program. Chelation is when you magnetically attract toxins out of the blood. And it turns out that vitamin C is a great chelating agent. So vitamin C is detoxifying. It supports liver health. It's great for helping the body balance out estrogen. If you're dealing with an estrogenic health challenge, there's a very important relationship between vitamin C and the effects of estrogen, for better or worse. If you're having radiation therapy or chemotherapy for cancer, you want to know about vitamin C. Doctors don't really like to use vitamin C for chemotherapy because they're afraid that the vitamin C will neutralize the effects of the chemotherapy. That's not going to happen. If you have kidney problems, you might want to be a little bit careful with high-dose vitamin C or with intravenous vitamin C. But other than that, it's an awesome non-toxic vitamin. As we've said so many times in this program, animals make vitamin C. When they're under stress, they make more vitamin C. It's a stress management vitamin. It's a non-toxic vitamin. We could all use a little bit more vitamin C. All right, one more, and then we'll get your phone calls, 844-236-6010 from the British Medical Journal. Not all saturated fats are the same. This is so important because you hear periodically doctors in the medical model and representatives of the medical model saying how you have to be careful with saturated fats, but what they don't take into account is not all saturated fats are the same. In fact, coconut oil, which has been recently ripped on by the medical model because of its saturated fat content, actually contains a very interesting saturated fat called lauric acid. We'll tell you about that when we come back from our break. Get your phone calls as well. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back after this. All right, we're back on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. Periodically, you'll hear the representatives of the medical model ripping on coconut oil because it's a saturated fat, because it contains saturated fats. But as it turns out, not all saturated fats are the same. And guess what? According to this study article that was published in the British Medical Journal, eating coconut oil can actually lower plasma glucose, blood sugar, and can also help lower blood pressure and probably even, according to this article anyway, LDL cholesterol. 96 healthy British men and women with no known history of cardiovascular disease or diabetes who were not on medication were randomly assigned to consume either 50 grams a day of extra virgin olive oil or butter, or extra virgin coconut oil for 4 weeks. Both coconut oil and butter, of course, high in saturated fat, which is supposedly so bad for you. Well, as it turns out, the folks who ate the coconut oil decreased their cholesterol levels. Everybody decreased their cholesterol levels, actually. Coconut oil folks and olive oil folks and the butter folks. Coconut oil has fatty acids, has a saturated fat in it. That is true, but the saturated fat in coconut oil has different effects than the saturated fats in other saturated fat-rich foods. So coconut oil is high in something called medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs. I was at the Whole Foods a couple days ago, and I saw Dave Asprey, who I like his stuff. Dave Asprey, he's the Bulletproof Coffee guy, and I saw he's got a product out with his name on it called Brain Fuel. Guess what it is? Guess what his Brain Fuel is? It's got a fancy package on it. It says Dave, it has his name on it, and then it says Brain Fuel, and it was on an end cap at Whole Foods. It was being promoted. All it is medium chain triglycerides, MCT oils, the same MCT oil you get from coconut oil. This is why coconut oil is so darn valuable for people who are dealing with brain problems like Alzheimer's disease. Everybody who's got Alzheimer's disease should be doing a teaspoon of coconut oil every day. In fact, we could all benefit by doing a teaspoon of coconut oil every day. One of the important saturated fats that you'll find in coconut oil is something called lauric acid, Lauric. It's a very interesting fatty acid. It's one of the medium chain fatty acids, or a medium chain triglyceride, and it's got some really interesting antibacterial and antifungal properties. In fact, it's a great antifungal for folks who are dealing with candida infections. They can use you can actually get lauric acid supplements by themselves, or you can get something called monolaurin. In fact, I used to use monolaurin as a preservative in my skincare products. It turns out that about 50% of the fatty acids that are found in coconut oil are lauric acid. If you can take this lauric acid, by the way, it has a certain, like all medium chain triglycerides, it has a little bit of water solubility. Not a lot. The short chain fatty acids have a lot more water solubility, but the medium chain, remember, fats come in long, medium, and short sizes. The long ones, they're not watery at all. They're pure fatty. The short ones, they got some nice watery properties. In fact, some of them are totally water soluble, like acetic acid, for example, vinegar. But then the ones in the middle, the medium chain triglycerides, they're a little bit watery and a little bit fatty, and that gives them some very interesting properties. Lauric acid in particular makes a great detergent, makes a great cleanser, and if you mix it with a little sodium sulfite, you get sodium sulfite plus lauric acid equals sodium lauryl sulfite, or sodium lauryl sulfate, which gets a lot of bad press these days because it's a detergent, and when in reality it's nothing more than a medium chain triglyceride combined with sodium sulfite, which is a rock, which is a form of sulfur that's found in the earth. So if you want to go from the chemistry perspective, sodium lauryl sulfate is as natural as it gets. Unfortunately, it is a pretty powerful detergent and can wreak havoc on your skin or also on your hair, and it's best avoided. Nonetheless, from a biochemistry or chemistry perspective, it's nothing more than lauric acid, medium chain triglyceride from coconut oil, in combination with sodium sulfate, which is mined. A little bit of chemistry understanding can really help you understand how to use not just nutritional supplements, but skincare products and various other consumer products too. Sodium lauryl sulfate is also found in toothpaste, of course. Last thing, coconut oil is a great appetite suppressant, and if you're dealing with a gallbladder problem, the MCTs, the medium chain triglycerides that are found in coconut oil, can have wonderful energizing effects. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's say good morning to my friend Tony in California, the handsomest, strongest, most powerful 80-year-old man I've ever seen in my life. What's going on, Tony?
Gee, can't you say anything nice about me?
I only say nice things.
Okay, I know. Did you get my lyric on the email? It's 30 seconds.
No, you sent me an email recently?
Well,
when did you send me
the lyric, but I intend to sing for about 20 seconds here if you can stand a musical interlude, okay?
All right, let me hear you sing. Are you a musician or you just like to sing?
I'm a musician. I'm called the parking lot poet around here. I write all kinds of doggerel and songs.
Oh, okay.
And MG knows all this. Anyway, here it is.
Yes.
Pharmacist Ben Fuchs famously likes to say, have a wonderful, awesome, beautiful, spectacular day. And you can get her done if you live the bright side longevity way. Have a wonderful, awesome, beautiful, spectacular day.
Oh, my goodness. That's very embarrassing, but I'm honored. There's more?
Folks ought to have to be talked to. Some folks got to, can't afford not to. Live the bright side longevity way. Have a wonderful, awesome, beautiful, spectacular day. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. I'm a little bit embarrassed, but that's a high compliment. Thank you so much.
Come on.
Say hello to your son, who's the editor of one of my favorite journals, Cell.
Okay, yes.
And I want to get him on the program. You told me you were going to help me get him on the show. Tell me, we want to talk about the Cell, the beautiful, amazing, spectacular Cell.
Well, he's onto it. Okay, thank you.
Good deal. Thank you, Tony. Take care, buddy. It's my friend Tony in California. If you ever saw Tony, you would know that no matter what your health challenge is or no matter how old you are, there's all kinds of things you could do to support your body's strength and resilience. And you don't have to be 80 years old and falling apart. Tony is 80. I think he's 83 actually. And he's a big old strapping guy with all kinds of energy and a great sense of humor and intelligence as well. All right, 844-236-6010. I'm going to do one more because we don't have any phone calls. So I'm going to do one more study that's kind of interesting here. Check this out. One apple carries roughly 100 million bacteria on it, and that might be one of the reasons why apples are so good for you. In fact, it turns out that organic apples have even more good bacteria than conventional apples, which is obviously makes sense because they don't have preservatives. Apples are kind of an interesting fruit. They're some of the most heavily preserved or pesticide sprayed fruits because apples today are bred in a very interesting way. Apples normally when they're growing wild, apples grow in different. The species of apples are different. They combine differently. So there's never in nature anyway. When apples grow, they're always different. There's no uniformity in apples, but in order to get them uniform, in order to make apples uniform, they've got to do all kinds of breeding techniques, and I'm not even sure what they do to cut the stalks and mix the stalks together, and they do all kinds of things to keep the apples uniform, but what that does is it makes them more susceptible to bacterial invasion, and so they had to use lots of pesticides. And in fact, I believe apples may be the most pesticide sprayed of all the fruits that we eat. And of course, everybody loves apples, but the problem is when you're spraying apples, the pesticides, they grow into the apple. So as the apple's growing and you're spraying the pesticides are inside of the apple. Literally, they go into the apple, deep inside the apple, past the peel. So apples, really, really problematic fruit. Well, it turns out that organic apples may not have that. They don't have the pesticide problem, but they have a good bacteria benefit. According to researchers at Grass University of Technology, organic apples were found to contain a diverse variety of bacterial goodness, as they say, making them healthier, tastier, and better for the environment. These bacteria and viruses and fungi in our food colonize our gut, explains study senior author Gabriel Berg. Cooking kills most of these, by the way, so you always want to eat your fruit raw if possible. I know a lot of people like baked apples, but if you eat your apples raw, you'll get much more benefit. If you eat all your produce raw, in fact, if you eat all your food raw, you'll get much more benefit, although some foods need to be a little bit steamed in order to release some of those nutrients. The raw food diet is a great idea, but you want to have a little bit of your food that's cooked, or I should say slightly steamed. You don't want to be overcooking your foods. Probably 80-20 is a good place to be when it comes to raw compared to cooked foods. I know a lot of folks, I have a lot of friends actually who are doing what's called the raw food diet where they're just 100% raw. I don't recommend that, but certainly 70 to 80% of your calories coming from raw is probably a good idea. All right, that is it for now. Please check out our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com for all of the longevity products, and truthtreatments.com for our Truth Skin Health products, and truthnourishment.com for various and sundry unusual and very interesting, we'll say, nutritional supplement products. Thank you to Robert Lundgren for setting that up. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.